something I was thinking about when you brought up Artemis. I was curious if you had any thoughts about the Blue Origin space flight with all of the women, Katy Perry included, on the journey. Do you find that mirrors other things with NASA, or did you find that to be a stunt within itself?
Sorry, I just want to make a little more clarification on like the context of like.
Basically, like, do you see that as a parallel? Like, even they're like a private company funded by Jeff Bezos. Do you find that to be in the same sphere as NASA in terms of like what they're doing, or like do you think it was all like a ploy? Like, I guess I do kind of all pick your brain on like if you do believe in some of these conspiracy theories or not, or if you are just arguing, because I find it fascinating.
I think it's interesting to look at it. I have not like closely looked at it or have no like an actual like one-sided opinion on it. But I think it's pretty much works. It can work as like what NASA and how the conspiracies are working around it, and like because like NASA as an institution is huge and it's governmental institutions, but still it's being questioned a lot, like with the conspiracies and so much stuff, especially with the Artemis program. It's like a lot of the other space agencies also are involved, like the independent agencies and the third parties we call the Japanese Space Agency, Canadian Space Agency. And like with that happening, it's still as shown as like the same image and the same patterns with NASA. So I think like what was happening with that too, I think it can be implied, but I don't have like an actual like thing, because I haven't looked at it, but I would definitely I would look at it.
So can you talk about the relationship excuse me, between conspiracy and paranoia? Clearly, I mean, paranoia is a big word in Cold War discourse. Paranoid style of American politics, even as a kind of tailing of the Soviet Union. I remember delivering all kinds of lectures all over the former Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, and there was a palpable feeling of paranoia, even in the 1990s after the dissolution of the evil empire. So can you speak a little bit about those two words?
I think first when I look at what paranoia is and when it's a conspiracy, I first try to identify where they come from. Like the paranoia as like an individual symptom, like coming from like when we first look at it, like how I see it, because like I see conspiracy as more like a broader term, and paranoia is like a more like fixed with individual identity. And like when we call someone paranoid, it's like their own individual self, and one person is being threatened, or maybe there's a threat, maybe there's a force that is going to harm them with a purpose. But I think in the conspiracy world or conspiracy claims, how they come from are a little different. That it's not from that actually there's a harm, but there's something that's unknown, and it's seeking for the explanations, and that happens with the human behavior. That's also called epistemic motivation in psychology. That it's a need for information when there's a gap, and then the same process happens with conspiracies. But in paranoia, it's mostly there's a known or maybe like close, little to no like an evidence that there's a direct threat that is coming to one person or maybe like a larger scale. So that's how we know that try to differentiate it.
I enjoyed the presentation. I'm reading a book on religion, and I'm curious if you would agree with this. How it almost seems a little bit masochist to think there's a threat coming after you and reaffirming that, even though there's a bunch of evidence against that, but you hold it so hardly. And I guess that's how it relates to paranoia. Maybe an unidentified threat that isn't exactly there, but you still hold it true, but to keep it in line with your research and keep the human aspect. Don't you think it is a little bit masochist to maintain that, to have the comfortability that you might be right and that there is a broader meaning in it? And I think it kind of constructs their own spirituality in it. Don't you think that like they're seeking meaning in areas that they're uncertain about to have that comfortability, but they're almost fabricating a threat that these institutions say don't
Yeah.
exist.
I like how you said it contradicts their own spirituality, because I think that's something I saw when I was reading the complex personhood thing, because it's talking about how